Hello everybody! Just an update, just a little reminder, this is the 6th part of our 9-part series about horror films, their important and which ones I think are good and stand out to me. So this video, we're going over 1999's Blair Witch Project, the movie that kickstarted the found footage genre and taught a very important lesson on not meandering into the woods and in the middle of nowhere. The ending is pretty iconic, so really, once again, spoiler alerts ahead. Do not watch this if you want like the full experience of this movie. Do not watch this video first. Go watch Blair Witch Project in its entirety beforehand. So now that all of those guys are gone, now that it's just us, those who have seen Blair Witch Project before, hold on, my script's all whack. It's in the wrong place. Oh man, computers are so difficult sometimes. Okay, look, okay, cool. We are back. Okay. So it was directed by Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez. The 3 actors you are stuck hiking with throughout the film are Heather Donahue, Joshua Leonard, and Michael C. Williams. So this movie, in comparison to our other films, is super easy to detail. The scene is almost completely in the woods, and there's only 3 film students to keep us company. So they decided to film a documentary about the supposed Blair Witch that the film students are. And after being in the woods for a couple of days, however, they find themselves to be lost because it's a new territory that they don't know that they walked into. This is due in part because one of them threw the map in the river in spite because they were getting angry. And I think that is the absolute worst idea in all of horror movie history. Why would you do that? Why would you throw your only way back home into the water? But he threw it, evidently. And things get heated as they realize they are stuck without the map. And they're also low on food and drink, obviously. Things only escalate, however, as they begin to hear strange noises at night and find weird things hung up in trees. Eventually, one of them disappears overnight, and the next night, they find a bundle of what appears to be human hair and teeth outside of their tent. The following night, the remaining 2 members leave their tent to follow the sounds of screaming they hear off in the distance. They come across a cabin and go inside hoping to find their friend. What they find instead is a rundown home with child-sized handprints all over the walls. These handprints could symbolize that the urban legend surrounding the Blair Witch was true. That legend being that a woman was accused of causing tragic events by the children in the town, and she was hanged for witchcraft. And later on, those children and their parents vanished. After finding the handprints, they run to the basement where we get the iconic ending shot of one of them standing in the corner, as the children were often made to do with her, while the other student screams and drops her camera. And that's it. We never see the witch. Nothing happens after that. She drops her camera and it's over. So the movie is pretty unique, and for a couple of reasons. Like I said before, it never showed the movie monster. They never showed us the Blair Witch. They showed things that she left behind. They showed the things she made in the trees, but we never actually see the Blair Witch. And it also never had any jump scares, which I think is great. I mean, a good jump scare every now and then is fine, but if a scary movie is leaning on jump scares, that's all they have, then it's a really lazy way to make a movie. It's an easy way out. I think I've talked about this before. So the appeal of the movie is built around suspense, which I've said that a lot in the series. I'm going to continue to say it a lot in the series because suspense to me is extremely important in horror films. So another important factor is the distress that you feel, according to how the victims feel, because it's so realistic that the entire time you can't help but sympathize with them and feel what they're feeling. You're obviously extremely terrified and you don't want anything to happen to them, but it's out of your control. So this movie also popularized the found footage genre. And I use the term popularized because Blair Witch was not the first found footage film, but it was the movie to finally bring the genre into the mainstream's eye. We might as well hit the fun facts now. So, Myrick and Sanchez, the directors of the film, were film students who decided to make the movie after watching paranormal documentaries that they thought were much scarier than traditional horror films. So, to achieve an authentic feeling to the on-screen horror, they used real human hair and teeth whenever in the stuff they found outside their tent. So they also gave their actors an outline instead of a script, and then they had them improvise most of their dialogue. So the really famous scene of the girl who she's by herself and she's crying and her nose is running and she's talking to the camera in a really sad fashion, talking about how she's sorry, that everything's her fault and stuff. That's a really popular scene, and it's completely improvised. She made that up, all of it herself. And it does really aid to an authentic feel that most of their stuff is improvised, because all of their banter, all of the things they're saying, all of their distress and stuff, it's really realistic feeling. So, they originally had 19 hours of footage, by the way, and they finished filming on Halloween. So, when they did, they were in the woods for so long, they were in the woods for like maybe 2 weeks, I think. And after that, when they were walking around outside afterwards, they felt sort of creeped out by, being in the woods for so long and then going around and seeing children wearing masks and dressing up in scary costumes. So after the movie was released, the actors were purposely kept away from the press to give the impression that they had really died. And that was so convincing that missing posters went up for the actors. Donahue's mother received sympathy cards, and then on online websites like IMDb stated that they were deceased. They had actually stated that. At the end of the film, they showed a link that connected to a website that was made by the directors. The directors themselves made the link. And these details went all of a long way to help build up the lore around the movie and to make one of the first internet successes. So, thank you for watching our video. Our next contender will be one of my personal favorites, The Thing. So, see you then.